Most of us were raised to believe that fruits are always healthy. They're nature's candy, right? But what many seniors don't realize is that some fruit seven, the ones that seem perfectly harmless, can actually work against your body as you age. Especially after 60, when muscles, joints, and circulation start to change, the wrong kind of fruit can quietly trigger inflammation, strain your legs, and leave you feeling more tired than strong. You might notice swelling in the ankles, stiffness in the knees, or that your legs feel heavy after a meal. And while it's easy to chalk that up to aging, it could be your fruit bowl doing the damage. Some fruits spike your blood sugar, others interfere with muscle recovery, and a few may even worsen joint pain over time. If you've been trying to eat clean and still feel discomfort in your legs, the problem may be hiding in plain sight. In today's video, we're going to walk through 5 common fruits that can make your legs weaker and explain why they hit harder after 60. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Bananas, the silent potassium overload. When I was growing up in Ohio back in the 1950s, bananas were a staple in almost every home. They were cheap, didn't spoil too quickly, and were soft enough for kids and grandparents alike. My mother used to slice them over cornflakes every morning, telling me, "Bananas keep you strong." And that stuck with me. For decades I believed it, just like so many others did. Doctors praised bananas for their potassium. Coaches handed them out after Little League games. It was one of the few health tips we all agreed on. But the body I live in now at age 70 isn't the same one I had back then. And I've come to learn sometimes the hard way that the foods we once trusted blindly don't always serve us the same way later in life. One quiet shift that's easy to miss is how the kidneys begin to slow down with age. They don't filter minerals quite as efficiently, and that change matters more than we realize, especially when it comes to potassium. Bananas are often called the potassium fruit, and it's true, they're packed with it. Just one medium banana holds over 400 milligrams. For a younger body, that's helpful, even necessary. But for those of us over 60, especially anyone managing kidney issues, high blood pressure, or heart medications, that daily banana might be doing more harm than good. You see, when the kidneys can't process potassium as well, it builds up in the bloodstream. Over time, this can lead to a condition called hyperkalemia 2, much potassium in the blood, and the signs are rarely dramatic at first. They're slow, creeping, and easy to dismiss. I started to notice a heaviness in my legs. Not painful, but weighted, like I was dragging them through thick mud. Some mornings I'd stretch and feel my calves tighten into sudden cramps. Other times, there was a buzzing sensation in my fetal most, like a power line humming quietly below the skin. I brushed it off at first, blamed it on aging or maybe a stiff mattress. But then my balance started to change. I'd get up too quickly and feel unsteady. One evening, just standing up from my recliner, my knees buckled slightly, not from weakness, but like they had forgotten their job for a moment. No fall, no bruise, just a jolt of fear. That's when I knew something wasn't right. What I later learned is that potassium doesn't just affect the muscles, it affects the nerves too. It helps regulate the very communication that tells your legs when and how to move. And when those signals misfire, everything feels out of sync. It's not just physical, it takes a toll on your confidence, your independence. You begin to question your footing, your timing. That fear changes how you move through your day. And yet, bananas are still handed out freely at hospitals, senior centers, even physical therapy clinics. Most people mean well. They're trying to offer something familiar and healthy. But the truth is, for many seniors already on medications or with reduced kidney function, that daily banana may be too much. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. The body you have today has different needs than the one you had 30 or 40 years ago. What once felt like a safe, nourishing snack may now be contributing to fatigue, nerve discomfort, or instability. You don't need to cut everything out, but you do need to start noticing the quiet signals your body sends. And bananas aren't the only fruit that deserves a second look. There's another summertime favorite, cool, juicy, and often seen as the perfect way to beat the heat. But for seniors watching their joints, circulation, or blood sugar, this one can stir up more trouble than it's worth. Let's take a closer look. 2. Cherries, the sugar bomb in disguise. There's something about cherries that feels timeless. Maybe it's the vibrant color, the sweet burst of flavor, or the memories they carry afternoons spent under a tree with a metal pail, family picnics with cherry pie, or warm July evenings with a cold bowl of fruit in your lap. For many of us who've crossed the 60-year mark, cherries aren't just a fruit, they're a piece of our past. Familiar, comforting, easy to love. But with age comes change. And the foods that once seemed harmless, even helpful, may now carry hidden risks. Cherries are a perfect example. They're often praised for their antioxidants and natural compounds that may reduce inflammation. But what's rarely discussed is just how much sugar comes packed inside those cheerful little bites. 1 cup of fresh cherries contains nearly 18 grams of sugar. That's without any syrup or processing. When cherries are canned or jarred in syrup, like the kind often used in desserts or found in pre-made fruit cups, the sugar content can more than double. You may think you're making a light choice, but your body may interpret it very differently. As we age, our metabolism slows, and the body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar changes. The pancreas may not release insulin as efficiently, and cells aren't as quick to absorb glucose. That means the same fruit that gave you energy in your 30s could now trigger spikes in blood sugar followed by steep crashes. Over time, this cycle contributes to chronic inflammation, a kind of low-grade fire in the body that burns silently and causes wear and tear, particularly in the legs. Your legs are often the first to reveal these changes. That inflammation settles in the joints and connective tissue. You might feel it as tightness in the knees when you stand, or heaviness in your calves at the end of the day. Walking begins to feel more like a chore than a joy. The ankles get stiff, the feet feel tender, and the smooth rhythm of movement begins to break down. But inflammation isn't the only concern. Excess sugar also quietly impacts the nerves, especially the tiny ones in your feet, ankles, and lower legs. At first, it might just be a tingle in your big toe, or a strange warm patch on your heel. Later, it becomes more noticeable, a burning sensation that keeps you awake, or a numbness that makes you second-guess your balance. This isn't just discomfort. It's a warning sign of diabetic neuropathy nerve damage caused by blood sugar imbalance. And once it sets in, it becomes harder to reverse. The most challenging part is that cherries, like many fruits, come with a health halo. We've been taught since childhood that fruit is always good, and in moderation many fruits are. But after 60, the conversation needs to shift. Because even natural sugars can contribute to inflammation, nerve damage, and instability, especially in the legs that carry us through life. This isn't about giving up all sweet things. It's about awareness. It's about listening to what your body is trying to tell you now, not what you believed decades ago. A few cherries on occasion may still be fine, but if you're snacking on bowls of them throughout the summer or reaching for that cherry-laced dessert every evening, it might be time to reconsider. Because what's sweet in the moment could be quietly working against your mobility, your confidence, and your independence. And cherries aren't the only fruit with this hidden edge. There's another one, small, soft, often linked to heart health. But when it comes to your circulation and your legs, this next fruit may be slowly making things worse without you even realizing it. Let's take a closer look. 3. Grapes. Nature's candy, but dangerous for circulation. There's something almost effortless about grapes. You don't need to peel, slice, or prepare them. Just rinse, grab a handful, and enjoy. They're soft, sweet, and feel so natural that they're often the snack of choice for older adults. A few in the afternoon, a bowl during your favorite television show, maybe a bunch packed in a lunch for a picnic or grandchild's visit. Grapes are comforting, familiar, even nostalgic. But the very thing that makes them feel so harmless is what can make them quietly risky, especially after the age of 60. People often call grapes nature's candy, and it's not just a saying. They're packed with natural sugars, more than 20 grams in just 1 cup, and they come with little fiber or protein to slow the body's absorption. That means the sugar doesn't trickle in gradually, it floods in. The result is a rapid spike in blood glucose levels, which sets off a chain reaction that affects the entire circulatory system, especially the parts furthest from the heart. Your legs, feet, and ankles feel the effects first. These areas already have to work harder to maintain circulation as we age. The sugar surge inflames the blood vessels, causing them to become less elastic and less efficient at moving blood where it's needed. At first, you might not notice much, just a little tightness in your calves, or maybe your ankles seem more swollen in the evening. But these aren't just ordinary aches or signs of aging. They're early warnings of compromised blood flow. And that reduced circulation doesn't just create discomfort. It can quietly pave the way for serious problems. As blood flow slows and pools in the lower limbs, your risk of developing blood clots rises, particularly in the deep veins of the legs. These clots often form without symptoms until they grow large enough to cause swelling, pain, or heaviness. In severe cases, they can break free, travel through the bloodstream, and lodge in the lungs. That's called a pulmonary embolism, and it can become life-threatening in a matter of minutes. What makes this especially hard is that grapes don't feel like a threat. They bring back happy memory strips to the vineyard, family picnics, bowls of fruit at summer gatherings. They're often seen as the healthier alternative to candy or baked goods, and in some ways, they are. But after 60, your body's ability to handle even sugar from fruit changes dramatically. The systems that once managed blood sugar, inflammation, and circulation with ease now need more help, not more load. So, while a few grapes on occasion may not be harmful, eating them frequently or in large portions can chip away at your leg strength and stability over time. You may find yourself wondering why your legs feel heavier, why you're more tired after a short walk, why your balance feels just slightly off. These shifts don't usually announce themselves with fanfare. They creep in quietly, steadily, until you start changing your routine without even realizing it. This doesn't mean you need to stop eating fruit. It means being more selective, choosing fruits that work with your body's current needs, not the needs you had 20 years ago. That's part of honoring the stage of life you're in. And the next fruit on our list is another one we've trusted for decades. It's bright, tangy, and often the go-to remedy for a cold. But for joints, bones, and aging tissues, it may be adding more strain than support. Let's take a closer look at this citrus favorite and how it may be affecting you in ways you didn't expect. 4. Oranges. Acidic trouble for bones and joints. For most of our lives, oranges have been the very symbol of good health. A splash of orange juice in the morning, a neatly peeled slice handed to a grandchild on the sidelines of a game, or a simple fruit bowl on the table during winter flu season. These habits have been part of our routine for decades. Oranges always felt like the smart choice. High in vitamin C, refreshing, familiar. We were told they supported immunity, helped fight off colds, and gave us a healthy start to the day. But now, in our 60s, 70s, and beyond, things begin to shift. Our bodies don't respond the same way they used to. That bright citrusy boost may still taste good, but its effects inside an aging body may no longer be so friendly, especially when it comes to bones and joints. You see, oranges are naturally high in both sugar and citric acid. And while those components may be manageable for younger adults, for seniors, they can quietly create a cascade of issues over time. As we age, our kidneys and buffering systems slow down. The body becomes less efficient at neutralizing dietary acid, which means acidic foods like oranges, grapefruits, and even their juices can begin to interfere with internal balance. To protect that balance, the body turns to its mineral reserves, especially alkaline ones, like calcium. And where does it draw calcium from? Your bones. Bit by bit, in response to dietary acid, the body leaches calcium from your skeletal system in an effort to stabilize its internal environment. This isn't something you'll feel after one orange or even 1 week. But over months and years, it takes a toll, particularly on the legs, hips, and knees, which bear the brunt of your weight and motion each day. Beyond that, citric acid can irritate already inflamed joints. If you live with arthritis or experience stiffness in the morning, oranges may be making that worse. Some seniors report feeling a dull soreness in the knees after walking or a strange stiffness that lingers longer than it used to. These small changes often go unnoticed, blamed on aging, weather, or past injuries. But they may be a quiet sign of your body reacting to what's on your plate. There's also the issue of uric acid. Oranges and other citrus fruits can elevate uric acid levels in the blood, which for those prone to gout spells trouble. Gout isn't just a sharp pain in the toe, it's a deep, burning inflammation that can make walking unbearable, limit your movement, and leave you sidelined for days. And yet, few people connect a glass of orange juice with these intense flare-ups. The most difficult part is how gradual it all feels. You may find yourself taking fewer walks, skipping the stairs, feeling a little more hesitant to stand up from your favorite chair. It doesn't hit all at once. Instead, the changes settle in quietly. And because oranges still carry that healthy reputation, few seniors think to question their role. This isn't about eliminating fruit. It's about matching your food to your current needs, not your habits from 30 years ago. You've earned the right to move with comfort, to wake up without aching knees, and to maintain your freedom of movement. And the story doesn't end with oranges. There's another fruit often praised for its digestive benefits, with a golden color and tropical sweetness that makes it feel like a vacation in every bite. But beneath that sunny surface lies a combination of acid and sugar that may be stirring up even more inflammation than you realize. Let's take a closer look. 5. Pineapple. The tropical trap. There's something about pineapple that feels like a little escape. Its golden flesh, tropical scent, and bright sweetness can bring back memories of summer vacations, backyard barbecues, or lazy afternoons by the pool. For many, just a bite of pineapple is enough to conjure warmth, laughter, and a sense of joy. It looks vibrant on a plate and feels like a healthy treat light, juicy and full of promise. Over the years, pineapple has even gained a reputation for being anti-inflammatory, thanks to a natural enzyme called bromelain. And while there's some truth to that, the story is more complicated, especially for older adults, and especially for those managing joint pain, nerve sensitivity, or muscle fatigue in the legs. On the surface, pineapple seems like a smart, wholesome choice. But behind the tropical charm lies a hidden challenge, a potent combination of acidity and sugar. These two elements, when consumed frequently, can quietly create trouble for aging bodies. Pineapple is one of the most acidic fruits commonly eaten. And for seniors especially, those already living with arthritis, stiff joints, or tender tendons, that acidity can become irritating, even harmful. The citric and malic acids in pineapple can aggravate tissues that are already inflamed. If you've ever experienced swelling in the knees after walking, or stiffness in your hips or ankles after resting, you might be seeing the subtle results of dietary acid making its way into your most vulnerable areas. Over time, these symptoms build. The joints become less flexible. Movement feels less fluid. What once felt like a refreshing snack starts to work against you, especially when consumed regularly. But acid isn't the only issue. Pineapple is naturally high in sugar, roughly 16 grams per cupid. That number climbs significantly if you're eating it canned in syrup or drinking it as juice. For those over 60, especially anyone managing insulin resistance, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, this sugar load is not as harmless as it seems. It can lead to blood sugar spikes and crashes that fuel inflammation and impact nerve function, particularly in the legs and feet. If you've noticed tingling in your toes, a burning sensation in your calves at night, or a strange numbness that comes and goes, those may not just be signs of aging. They might be the early whispers of neuropathy, a condition where sugar and inflammation damage the small nerves that help you walk, stand, and stay balanced. And pineapple, while tasty, may be part of that silent progression. The body depends on a delicate balance between nerves, muscles, and connective tissue to keep you steady. When that balance is disrupted by too much acid, too much sugar, or both, you begin to feel it. Not all at once, but slowly. A little more stiffness here, a little more fatigue there. Eventually, it shows up in the way you walk, how long you stand, or how steady you feel stepping off a curb. Pineapple's bright flavor makes it easy to overeat. A few chunks in the morning, a glass of juice with lunch, a slice of cake or dessert topped with pineapple in the evening, it adds up. And while each serving may feel small, the long-term effects on your legs and mobility can be significant. That's why it matters to pay attention. After 60, your body becomes more responsive to what you feed it, more vulnerable, but also more capable of improvement with the right choices. Pineapple might not be a problem for everyone, but for many seniors, reducing it or replacing it with less acidic, lower sugar fruits can lead to better comfort, stronger legs, and a steadier step. Now that we've looked at the fruits that may be quietly undermining your leg strength, it's time to shift toward healing. Because there are fruits that do the opposite. Fruits that restore, rebuild, and truly support the strength your legs need. Let's explore those next. What to eat instead. Safe fruits for strong legs. After learning about the fruits that may be quietly draining your strength, it's natural to feel a bit unsettled. You've spent a lifetime trusting these foods, maybe even relying on them as daily staples. But the truth is, aging brings new needs. And once you understand what your body is asking for now, you can begin choosing foods that truly support you, not slow you down. Not all fruits are harmful. In fact, some are remarkably supportive, gentle, nourishing, and packed with exactly the kind of nutrients your body thrives on in later years. The key is no longer just eating healthy. It's eating in a way that reflects the changes happening inside of you. As we get older, our joints become more sensitive, our blood vessels work harder to keep circulation steady, and our muscles need more protection. The right fruits don't fight that process. They help it. Take blueberries as an example. These small, dark berries carry an impressive amount of antioxidants. They work quietly, behind the scenes, calming inflammation that builds in the knees, the ankles, and the hips. They're also low in sugar and high in fiber, which means they're kind to your blood vessels and won't send your blood sugar swinging. Many older adults notice they feel lighter, less achy, and more mobile after choosing berries over sweeter fruits. Then there's avocado, forgotten when we talk about fruit, but one of the most powerful choices you can make. It's rich in healthy fats and magnesium, two things your muscles and nerves deeply depend on. Instead of flooding your system with sugar, avocado helps balance it. It keeps inflammation low, and that means steadier steps, better joint comfort, and a sense of strength that stays with you longer throughout the day. Papaya is another quiet helper. Its natural enzymes soothe the digestive system, which can grow more sensitive with age. But even more than that, it helps support collagen production, the very thing your joints and tendons need to stay supple and responsive. Eating papaya regularly may help ease tightness in the hips or reduce stiffness after rest. Raspberries, blackberries, and even a crisp slice of apple can also provide what your body now needs. These fruits offer just enough sweetness to feel satisfying, but not enough to trigger the kind of blood sugar crashes or joint flares that more sugary fruits might. Over time, these small choices help your legs carry you with more ease, less tension, more freedom. Each time you stand, each walk around the house or down the street, these are moments your body asks for support. And the fruits you choose can either lift you or weigh you down. When you lean into choices that strengthen rather than strain, you're doing more than caring for your legs. You're protecting your independence. You're choosing stability, confidence, and the ability to keep living life with energy and grace. And now that you know what your body needs most, that next step forward is yours to take, stronger, wiser, and better supported than ever before. Final thoughts. Your legs, your life, your choice. As someone who's traveled through many seasons of life, I've learned that change rarely announces itself. It comes quietly. One day you notice the stairs take a little more effort. Another day, your legs feel heavier after the same walk you've done for years. You push through, tell yourself it's just part of getting older, but deep down, you feel it. Something's shifting. The truth is, aging doesn't take your strength all at once. It fades slowly, often through the small, everyday choices we don't think twice about. And one of the most powerful choices you make each day is what you put on your plate. The fruits we talked about today, bananas, cherries, grapes, oranges, and pineapple, might seem harmless. Maybe they've been part of your life for decades. But now, they may be quietly working against your legs, your balance, and your energy. I used to believe all fruit was good, natural, so it must be safe. But after 9 decades of living and watching friends around me struggle with pain and weakness, I see things differently. Our bodies after 60 aren't just older, they're more particular. They ask us to listen more closely. They ask for gentler, smarter fuel. This isn't about cutting everything out or living in fear. It's about becoming more mindful, learning how to eat in a way that supports the life you still want to live. Because your legs aren't just tools for movement. They're your gateway to freedom. They carry you to the places and people that matter most. So here's what I've learned. When you support your legs, you support your life. You give yourself the chance to keep walking through this world with strength, steadiness, and pride. You don't have to be perfect, just intentional, just willing to shift little by little toward what helps you feel better in your body. You are not too late. You are not too old. These are your power years, and you still have so much life to live, so many places to go. So take that next step with awareness and care. Your legs have done so much for you. Now it's time to return the favor. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.